In today's video, the City of Toronto's inclusionary zoning policy is finally coming to life. What does this mean? What is it exactly? And how is housing going to become more affordable according to this zoning policy? That and much more in today's video. Hello everyone, this is Sam from SaberiSixRealEstate and Remax Realtron Realty Inc. As always, back with another video for you guys here today. You can find my contact information in terms of my Instagram, my office, and my Gmail in the description box. Feel free to get in touch with me with any questions you may have, with any topics covered in this video, or any general inquiries you may have with regards to the Toronto/GTA real estate market. Furthermore, feel free to subscribe, comment, and like this video. Your subscription and a like really means a lot, but you're not obliged to do so whatsoever, which is the new inclusionary zoning policies that is meant to create more affordable housing, both in terms of renting and purchase and sale in the City of Toronto, being officially adopted by the Toronto City Council. Now, we're going to go through a lot of information in this video. Let's start with the basics. What is this inclusionary zoning policy? Well, basically put, it is meant to create more affordable housing, both in terms of affordable rentals and affordable condominiums in terms of purchase and sale for lower to mid-income individuals who are currently somewhat priced out of the market. Theoretically speaking, of course, I work with many buyers and sellers all over the income spectrum, but this is meant to make affordability less of an issue in the City of Toronto, which is one of the most expensive cities in the North American continent. This inclusionary zoning policy will make it mandatory for builders and developers in developing condominium developments for them to allocate a certain portion of this development towards affordable rentals and affordable condominium units for purchase and sale. More specifically, the inclusionary zoning policy states that any condominium development with 100 or more units must allocate at minimum between 5 to 10% of the total square footage of this development for affordable rental and affordable ownership. Now, that's another key topic that I'll be touching on. This is not going to be into effect until well into 2022, and some other things with regards to perhaps the income-based definition of affordability, which I will touch on later in the video, is in the planning stages and must be confirmed by the Toronto City Council and the committee. But for now, we do have a lot of concrete details. Moving forward, although the minimum requirement right now is 5 to 10%, the policy does aim to increase that upwards of 20% of all new developments, allocating space in terms of 20% of the square footage towards affordable rentals and affordable ownership by 2030. So this is definitely a long-term plan that's going to occupy the next decade. Now, digging deeper into this, it states anywhere from 8, 10 to 20%, and that's going to be contingent upon the type of development and the location of development, with Midtown Toronto, Downtown Toronto, and Scarborough being some of the key points of emphasis. These affordable units will be provided 99-year protection, basically ensuring that for the foreseeable future, within any reasonable measure of most people's lives, that these units would be provided a protection of affordability by implementing, of course, this 99-year timeline. One of the official statements from the City of Toronto states as such: Toronto Inclusionary Zoning Framework sets out foundational requirements for affordable housing to be incorporated on a consistent basis in new developments and ensures affordability is maintained in 99 years. Now, in terms of pure dollars and figures, what are we really talking about here? Because thus far, it has been purely theoretical, right? Affordable housing, inclusionary zoning policies. Well, the affordability nature of this is going to take an income-based approach. Namely put, the policy will target households with an annual income of anywhere of $32,000 at the lower end to $91,000 at the higher end. This is pre-tax, right? So just to be clear, this income-based approach to affordability for these mandatory units that are going to be either rental or ownership, purchase and sale, that must be allocated by builders for future developments. will apply mainly and exclusively to this income bracket of $31,000 to $91,000 pre-tax. Furthermore, in terms of this $32,000 to $91,000 household income pre-tax for this affordable housing, the policy is designed in a way where it makes sure that anyone in the spectrum does not allocate more than 30% of their pre-tax income towards housing costs, whether that is a mortgage or that is rent. Let's read it exactly as how it is put in the proposed inclusionary zoning policy plan amendment that you can find on the website of the City of Toronto. Affordable rental housing and affordable rents means housing where the total monthly shelter costs, gross monthly rent inclusive of utilities, heat, hydro, and water, is lesser of 1 times the average City of Toronto rent by dwelling unit type as reported annually by the Canadian Mortgage and Housing Corporation, and housing that is affordable based on paying no more than 30% of before tax monthly income to renter households in the City of Toronto as follows. Studio units, 1-person households at or below the 50th percentile income. 1-bedroom units, 1-person households at or below the 60th percentile income. 2-bedroom units, 2-person household at or below 60th percentile income. And 3-bedroom units, 3-person household at or below 60th percentile income. That is the definition of affordable rental housing. Let's move on to the definition, once again, as put officially by the City of Toronto in this planning amendment, and it is proposed. It's not concrete yet. The city still has to vote on a lot of things and put this into effect and confirm it. Affordable ownership housing and affordable ownership prices means housing which is priced at or below an amount where the total monthly shelter costs, mortgage, principal, and interest based on a 25-year amortization rate, 10% down payment, and the mortgage rate for conventional 5-year mortgage is reported by the Bank of Canada in the January of the applicable year, and a mortgage insurance premium plus property taxes calculated on a monthly basis based on the purchase price and standard condominium fees is affordable based on paying no more than 30% of before tax monthly income to households in the City of Toronto as follows. And the as follows is on the screen. I'm not going to go through that. I don't want you to just see me read off the computer. But the point here is if we just take, for instance, if we take the income-based definition of affordable as applies, for instance, to rentals, 1-bedroom apartments, for instance, will go around $1,000, $1,090. 2 bedrooms around $1,600, and 3 bedrooms would go around $1,800 to $1,900 for rent. Ownership costs would be capped at $190,000 for 1 bedroom, $242,000 for 2 bedrooms, $291,000 for 3 bedrooms. Now, there's a lot more details that need to be ironed out. For instance, if we purchase a 1-bedroom at $190,000, what plans and what contingencies are in place that will stop the owner of this unit not to sell it at a 30% markup if the market deems that it's fair? So that's some questions on the table. In terms of what we should not see this as, this is not a measure that's going to increase supply, right? This by no means addresses the supply issue that exists. This addresses the price issue. So put differently, this inclusionary zoning policy does not increase supply, rather it reduces price. And this reduction of price is going to be externalized on the production side of things, on the supply side of things, if we think of it in terms of microeconomic terms, right? Because it's going to be condominium developers, builders that have to take on this responsibility to allocate anywhere from 5 to 10% now, or in the future 8 to 22% of their development towards this affordable housing in terms of rentals or ownership. Thus, the weight and onus of this measure that reduces prices but does not increase supply, reduces prices, will be taken on by the developers and builders. Now, in basic microeconomics, the law of supply has it that when price goes up, quantity supplied goes up, and when price goes down, quantity supplied goes down. The quantity supplied is reduced. This is called the law of supply. It's the complete converse of the law of demand, where when price goes down, quantity demanded goes up. When price goes up, quantity demanded goes down. So if builders and developers are to take on this weight of allocating a certain amount to affordable housing, irrespective of what your personal beliefs are on that matter, because you might be surprised to believe that I actually think this is step in the right direction, even though a lot of my colleagues would disagree with that notion. But irrespective of what your opinion is, this may have a indirect impact on supply because builders and developers will be less incentivized to build within these regions. Another key fact here is that this is the city of Toronto only, right? This might incentivize a lot of big time developers and builders to now go outwards from the city of Toronto to regions wherein the condominium markets are already on a steady rise, such as Vaughan, Markham, and Richmond Hill. But now even more developers are going to be incentivized to perhaps dodge some responsibilities with regards to affordable housing and go towards these areas such as Vaughan, Richmond Hill, and Markham. Now, those areas are very much so saturated right now with a lot of developers and builders as is. So this might even incentivize them to even go further than that, starting more projects in Durham, starting more projects in Peel, far north in Newmarket, Aurora, in terms of condominium developments. However, safe to say, it's hard to predict the future, as I always say. Anyways, these are the basic details of what this entails, this inclusionary zoning policy. Let me know if you have any further questions. You can get in touch with me with my contact information in the description box. Lastly, feel free to subscribe, comment, rate, and review. Your support in that regard is greatly appreciated. Thanks for watching. Stay safe and stay tuned. Thank you very much.